Welcome to Conversations. I'm Khan. Los Angeles is burning. There is an artificially created crisis there as people are protesting and opposing the arrests of undocumented migrants to America in Los Angeles. Many of them have been arrested and are on the verge of being deported. Their relatives, their friends, and the inhabitants and citizens of Los Angeles are protesting against ICE. And in order to quell these protests, which have resulted in some burning of cars, and there is some violence on the street, but there aren't many protesters. According to some estimates, there are only 300 people who have been protesting, and according to some estimates, there are about 800. But President Trump has basically invoked his authority to unleash the National Guard upon these protesters. And not only that, he has put about 500 Marines who are on active duty on alert to be ready to be deployed anytime. So it has become much, much bigger than what it would have been if it was allowed for the local police to handle the situation. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, is furious. He thinks this is an artificially created crisis by Donald Trump. And he also feels that his power and his authority has been basically usurped by President Trump, because it is actually the purview of the local executive, whether it's the mayor or the governor, who should have called for the National Guard, but not the president. And so the president is taking active role in maintaining security. In fact, the president's czar on deportation, essentially Tom Homan, has even threatened to arrest state officials who he thinks are obstructing his deportation, arrests, etc. And says no matter what, ICE work will continue. So he is threatening to continue arresting and deporting people no matter how severe the protests. And if anybody protests and obstructs, he is planning to arrest them. In fact, when Donald Trump was asked whether Tom Homan would arrest Governor Gavin Newsom, President Trump said if he was Tom, he would definitely go ahead and do that. In fact, he's inciting his own, shall we say, head of ICE to arrest the governor of California. So this is becoming a real crisis now, especially if he's arrested. And I'm sure Gavin Newsom loves it. He loves media attention. This is his way of launching his bid as for the presidential elections in 2028. So suffice it to say that America is right now in a total mess. It's a pity. It appears that a new America is emerging from this fire of hatred and violence which the government has released against people who live within its borders. So this targeting of civilians, targeting of students who protest, targeting of professors, essentially clamping down on First Amendment rights, etc., across the country, hunting down and shutting universities, etc., is killing the old America, and a new America is emerging out of this. I don't know what kind of America is going to emerge out of this campaign, but the process is very ugly at the moment. Who knows? America may be richer and more prosperous, or America may be poorer, more violent, more divided. Today is my birthday. And as I reflect on what's happening in Los Angeles, I also reflect on my 33 years in America. Came to America in 1992. And this year I also completed, not only this is my 59th year, but I have lived in America for 33 years. And I have been teaching at American universities for 25 years. I finished my PhD in 2000, and I've taught for 25 years, 5 years in Adrian, Michigan, and 20 here at the University of Delaware. So I have lived my entire adult life, most of my adult life in the United States of America, and I feel very strongly that I have invested in the old America, and to me it's a travesty to see it burning. and what seems to be at the end of the tunnel does not look very promising. So I thought that I'm going to celebrate my birthday by reflecting upon the things that I liked about old America. The best way to describe the essence of America is by what Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence. He wrote the first draft, and Ben Franklin and others edited it, and this is how it sounds. It is essentially a summarization of the reasons for America's existence, and this is what Thomas Jefferson wrote. We hold these truths to be sacred and undeniable, that all men are created equal and independent, that from that equal creation they derive rights inherent and inalienable, among which are the preservation of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This is the essence of America. And when I read this, I was moved profoundly. I remember reading this in one of my seminars in political philosophy. We had a whole discussion on every little item. What are rights? What is inalienable? Inalienable means that which cannot be taken away from you. You have them by virtue of your existence. So, as a human being, we have certain rights because that's how God created us. Even if you do not believe in God, by virtue of being a human being, you have these rights. They cannot be taken away from you by anybody. And that was the idea that I found very, very profound and moving, and the fact that we have been created equal and independent. I'm not going to delve into the profound hypocrisy that some of the founders were practicing while they were declaring that all people were equal. They were also practicing slavery, and even the US Constitution did not treat all human beings as equal. Nevertheless, the idea itself was wonderful, and America has struggled to live by these ideals. But the point is that every day America has tried to get better and aspire to realize this particular set of values, that all of us are created equal and independent. We have these rights which are inherent in us, they cannot be taken away. And there's our life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Everybody understands why life itself is important. Liberty essentially is freedom from the restrictions that a government can impose on you, freedom from undue interference in your life from the government and powers and authority, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, this is where I'm going to talk about most of my, or the rest of my discussion today is going to be about the meaning of pursuit of happiness. These are the 5 things that I like about America, the old America. I hope they survive this transformation. And so whenever and whatever kind of new America emerges, I hope that some of these values that I'm discussing today uh, remain. Otherwise, America will not be America anymore. So, but before that, for those of you who have come to Khanversations for the first time, do subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and try to become a member of Khanversations. So the 5 things that I like, the first thing that I like about is that America as a country, as a society, has always privileged individuality and creativity. Americans seek to realize the inherent potentiality that is within the individual. So this idea of pursuing happiness is not just something hedonistic. It's not just about pleasure. It is about recognizing what is special about yourself and then trying to materialize it, trying to pursue it. So pursuit of happiness should be understood as a passion for something that you think is about you and you're trying to realize it. This in management theory, they call it self-actualization. You want to become all that you can potentially be. So if there's something about you that is poetic, then you want to be the best poet you can be. If there's something athletic about you, then you want to be the best athlete that you can be. If there's something about you that makes you reflect on this world and write about it, then You should try and become the best professor that you can be. So to me, this idea that the society, the entire country, the society, its values and ethos essentially appreciate this idea of pursuit of happiness, which gives a lot of agency to human beings. So we are not just the products of our social structure. We can shape our destiny. I came to America as an engineer with an MBA. I could have gone and I was here to do a PhD in business administration and management information system. I would have been one of those millions of other IT people. Yes, maybe definitely richer, but just another IT guy. But America allowed me to reinvent myself. I changed my whole track. I studied international relations, Islamic philosophy, political theory, and I became a professor. And even as a professor, as a scholar, my journey has been transformative. Every 5, 6 years, I adopt a new quest, and I'm able to adjust, and America allows me to do that. So that is the one thing that I like about America most, that it gives you the opportunity to pursue your happiness. And happiness here is understood as realizing the inherent potential that is inside you. The second thing that I like about America is people are very tolerant and accepting, even as they are racist and xenophobic. Yes, there is racism in America. It's historically documented. There's also xenophobia, but generally people are very tolerant. I've traveled all over the world, and I've lectured in more than 30, 40 countries in over 200 universities all over the world. And let me tell you this much, in spite of everything, I find that America is the most welcoming country for foreigners, regardless of what race, what religion, what ethnicity, what nationality you have. So this culture of accepting foreigners is something that I found mind blowing. This inherent tolerance for difference in people is still very strong. That's why America has been such a successful country. People, Chinese and Iranians and Indians and people, African Americans and Caucasians and Muslims and Jews, all work together. I see that in my university every day. We work every day to become better scholars, to become better students, and we work every day to make our university a better university. And that is the second part of America that I love the most. Its acceptance of people who are different and foreign. That is one of the things that I think might die in this fire that is burning this country today. Number three, I find American universities the greatest thing in the world. America's universities are the greatest universities. I have lived my entire life in America in the shadow of a university, either as a student or as a professor. And I think that they are a microcosm of innovation, of ideas. Or it's like living in a brain, if you can imagine that. American universities, life in an American university is like living in a brain. Like you are a brain, you're walking around, you're constantly exposed to new ideas, you're challenging old ideas, old norms, old values, you're reinventing society, and so on and so forth. And as long as American universities are allowed to be free, as long as American universities are funded, and as long as American universities are open to new ideas and new talent, America will always be a great country. Number four, what I love about America is the role that religion plays in society. I think, regardless of all the issues that continue to plague America, like they do nearly in every society, especially those societies which are multicultural and highly diverse, I think America has got the balance right. It is not so fundamentalist in its secularity that people who believe and who practice faith feel marginalized and oppressed. Yes, there are Christians who complain that there is a war on Christianity, But that's an ideological position. They are free to practice their religion. They have had many legal successes in recent years, and so on and so forth. You can practice your religion as long as you don't hurt other people. You can be and believe what you like as long as you do not trod on other people. That is the only restriction on your belief. Do not harm others. So, so this, so America is not that fundamentally secular that it pushes religion out as some societies do. And it's not that religiously crazy that religion begins to dominate every aspect of society as they do in some other places. Even though there are people who would like to make this place either completely secular and oppress people who believe, and there are people obviously who want to get rid of people who do not believe in basically Christianity. So yes, there are those people out there. They are even elected to office, but nevertheless, a vast majority of Americans today, more or less, have got the balance of religion right. Yes, there are stresses on society right now uh, because there are some fundamental shifts taking place, which are both global and local in terms of balance of power, in terms of uh, uh, economic privileges, etc. And they are challenging these values that I'm talking about. But yet, I can tell you that these values that shaped the old America uh, are worth preserving and worth fighting for. And I hope we don't lose them as a new America, a more selfish, a more xenophobic America emerges. And the fifth thing that I like about America, it's its preeminence. And this is not a global value, it's a privilege, really, that America is the most powerful country on earth. America is the richest country in the world in terms of the size of the economy. And so Americans also get away with a lot of things. I like the fact that when I travel abroad, being an American gives me huge advantages in many, many ways. Travel is easy. Many places in the world, I don't even need to apply for a visa, just my passport is enough. And often people pay, I think, more attention to me because I'm an American. So being an American sort of elevates me beyond what my inherent capabilities and achievements are. So it has a, shall we say, a force multiplier effect just because I'm an American. So if I had the same CV as I have now, and if I was living in Australia or England or India or any other place, then I don't think I would have had uh, as much success in whatever I have tried to do as I have because I'm an American. So I like the fact that there is such a thing as American preeminence. It privileges the lives of Americans. It gives us an advantage, and it's worth preserving for. Yes, it's unfair to the rest of the world, but as an American, I value that. Uh, and as an American Muslim, there's another special experience that I have, which is primarily a Muslim experience. So it's not something that all Americans enjoy. Is I belong to a religion which is truly global. I don't think there is any other religion other than Christianity which is on the same level as Islam. So you can in here when you go to a mosque in America, you can be praying with African Americans and Nigerians and South Africans and Somalians and Norwegian Muslims and British Muslims and Russian Muslims and Chechens and Indian Muslims and Pakistanis, Malaysians and Indonesians from every continent. You can find Muslims here, even in small mosques where you have congregations of maybe 300 to 500 people, you will find 20 to 30 nationalities. So every time I go to a mosque, I'm amazed at the profound diversity and multicultural character of Islam. I meet people who who have lived in the West for centuries. I meet people who have come here just last week. I meet people who have chosen to become Muslims. I have met people who have returned after generations of being away from the faith, especially in the post-Soviet societies, etc. So being a Muslim in America is a very special experience for me. I truly felt the concept of ummah, that there is a Muslim ummah which is global, there is a Muslim brotherhood and solidarity which is global. You do not experience that. So, for example, I lived a lot of my life in Hyderabad and India, and occasionally I would meet Muslims who came from Australia. I don't know why they would keep coming to Hyderabad for some kind of religious preaching purposes. I would occasionally meet some Arabs who would visit Hyderabad. And so the only diversity that I experienced were Muslims from North India, Muslims from South India. I would meet Muslims who spoke Telugu, Muslims who spoke Urdu, and sometimes Muslims who spoke Marathi and Punjabi. So that was the diversity, the limit. I mean, that's very diverse itself, but still, that's the limit of the diversity that I experienced in India. So the only other place I think where you can find so much diversity among Muslims is, I think, during the Hajj and during the smaller pilgrimages called Umrah in Saudi Arabia, where Muslims from all over the world come there. I'm sure that there are people from some nationalities which I have not yet met. I have not met Muslims from Greenland. I have not yet met Muslims from, say, Chile. But still, I think that uh, for me as a Muslim person who was and is deeply engaged with the community, so I participate in Muslim rituals, I participate in Muslim spiritual exercises, and so for me it has been a wonderful experience in meeting Muslims from different parts of the world. And I also learned how they understood Islam differently. So I also got to experience a lot of different ways in which Islamic sources are interpreted and practiced. That is also has been a very enriching experience. And because I'm a privileged American, I did travel to many Muslim countries. Sometimes in a month, I would go to Turkey and Morocco and Tunisia and Egypt and in Saudi Arabia, and I would experience how Islam is understood and practiced differently in all of these societies. So the last 33 years in America have been fantastic, to say the least. I'm extremely grateful that I have got to live got to live my American dream. And my American dream is composed of these values that allow us to pursue happiness. So as America burns in Los Angeles and other places, and a new America hopefully emerges out of this, I hope that none of these values are lost. Anyway, thank you for watching Khanversations. I'm MuqtedarKhan, your host. If you have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe to the channel, like this video, press the bell icon, and share this video with the rest of your socio-political network. Until next time, I'm your host, MuqtedarKhan. Take care.